This is a short video of how to set up a Kapex miter saw. The first step is to get a board to use to align the lasers, and using the depth limiter, limit the depth of the curve cut you're going to make to just below the surface of the board. I chose a piece of white melamine so it would be the curve cut would be easily seen. Now once you've made the curve cut, you need to adjust the lasers to align with it. They are on the left-hand side of the saw. You have to punch out the pieces of plastic to get to the set screws. Once you have that done, I don't know if there's anything to do but just to fiddle with them until you get them lined up right. You'll learn eventually what each screw does. There's 3 of them for each side of each laser. And then once it's done, it'll look something like that, where the lasers nicely line up on either side of the curve cut. Once that's done, it's time to adjust the miter angle, make sure that that's accurate. You start out by preparing a board such as I did there, and then making 4 cuts in that board. Now this is the final and 4th cut. This one you want to make a little wider than any of the others, just to make sure you have a sufficient amount of material to measure. Now you measure each side of that last off cut. I've got 13 and some change millimeters on each, and then you need to measure the length of the offcut as well. In my case it was 251 millimeters. You take that and you use the Festool supplemental manual to calculate the error, and as you can see, the error there was very small. Then to set the bevel angle, you do very similar procedure. My case was 16 and some change millimeters on one end, and a little more on the other. Now the final error calculation in the bevel is a little higher than it was in the miter, but still acceptable. And when you do this, you want to use it in the special cutting position to cut at its deepest. The last thing I did is I installed the zero clearance insert. Very easy to do. First step is to obviously remove the 2 inserts that come with the saw, and make sure you keep the screws because they'll be used later, at least in my case they were. Zero clearance insert I chose was from Betterley. There may be others out there. I found this one with ease online, and it seems very well made. It comes with these little grommets, little O-rings that go beneath the plate. Once you have those set in, you put the plate on top, being careful not to knock them away, and then reinsert using the same screws that you took off earlier. Once you have all the screws in, you have to adjust them to make sure that the zero clearance sits flush with the saw. Once that's done, it looks something like that. And the final step is to make the curve cut into the zero clearance insert. I seem to have forgotten to attach my vacuum, and this made a horrendous mess. At first I thought it was just because it was the phenolic material was wispy and unable to be picked up in the vacuum or something like that, but then shortly thereafter realized that I never hooked up the hose. And I did one final cut in the zero clearance insert in the special cutting position.